What do Valentine's Day, coronary artery disease, and every love song ever written have in common? It seems pretty obvious, but it's the heart. As a nursing major, I've taken quite a few anatomy courses, and I feel like I have the basic understanding of the heart so I can explain it to you today. It's really important to understand our basic bodily functions so that we can understand our overall health and understand if something is wrong. Now, the heart is a multi-chamber organ that pumps blood throughout the entire body. Today, you can follow along with me. I have a handout that I've given out to the audience, as well as if you're watching this through a video, I've sent you an attachment. We're gonna start with the chambers of the heart, and they're the areas that hold blood in the heart. And we're gonna go on the right side, we have the right atrium and the right ventricle. Left side, we have the left atrium and the left ventricle. Now, this side of the heart is actually thinner because it only has to pump blood down to the lungs. And this is oxygen lacking blood. And this side, the left atrium and the left ventricle, have to bring blood to the entire body, which is why it's going to be thicker. Now, to get blood from one place to another, it has to go through the valves. And between the atrium and ventricle, or the atrioventricular valves, we have two. We have the tricuspid valve on the right side, or the bicuspid or mitral valve on the left side. And then we also have the valves in between the blood vessels and the ventricles of the heart. And this is either where it gets brought out to the rest of the heart, either through the right side or left side. On the right side, we're gonna have the pulmonary semilunar valve, which is gonna go through the pulmonary arteries and get taken to the lungs to pick up oxygen, or it's gonna go from the left ventricle to the aortic semilunar valve through the aorta and to the rest of the body. Now, those two things I talked about, the arteries, aorta, I'm gonna explain that now. And those are the blood vessels of the heart. And that's how things either get taken to the body or get brought back to the heart. The way I remember it is that the arteries, away, take blood away from the heart, and veins bring it back. Now, the arteries we're gonna be talking about today are the pulmonary arteries, which I just mentioned, which are going to bring blood from the right ventricle all the way down to your lungs to pick up oxygen. And then when we're talking about the aorta, the major artery of the heart, that's gonna go from the left ventricle, and that's gonna get brought out through the rest of the body, and that's gonna be oxygen-rich blood. And then when we talk about veins, we have, again, two major ones. We have the pulmonary veins, and then we have the superior and inferior vena cava. The pulmonary veins are going to bring oxygen-rich blood back from the lungs. Again, it gets taken down there so it can pick up oxygen for the body, gets brought back into the left atrium, flows through to the left ventricle, and then when it gets pushed out through the body through the aorta, it either goes above the heart or below the heart, and that's going to be brought back through the superior vena cava or inferior vena cava, superior above, inferior below. Now, that's a lot of information to pick up on, but the easiest way I remember it is that you have to look at the heart like a house, where the rooms are going to be the chambers, the doors are going to be the valves, and the hallways are going to be the blood vessels. And the blood is going to flow from the right side of the body down to the lungs to pick up oxygen, back through the left side of the heart, and out to the rest of the body so that it can start the process over again through the vena cava and back into the right atrium. Now, I'm going to ask the audience, can anyone tell me what the hallways of the heart are, and give me an example of it? Nicole?
The veins.
And they are a part of the blood vessels, that's correct. Now, understanding that and having a grasp of our body just gives us a better appreciation for it. And I think that I'm very glad that I got to share that information with you today.